Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to do an update on a video we did a couple of days ago talking about two-faced Mickey Mouse. Disney speaking out of both sides of its mouth when it comes to politics. That Disney seems to want to cater to left-wingers while also giving money to controversial bills on the right.
Well, they gave it to the right the politicians on the right side who were behind these bills later on.
Right. So we're going to talk about an update on the quote-unquote "Don't Say Gay" bill. And Bob Chapek is not saying much about it because he's just saying, "Hey, I'm not very political. We're not going to get very political.
Yeah.
It's not good business," which is very different from Bob Iger. Bob Iger would immediately be like, "Oh yeah, let's dive in feet first and diversity, inclusion, whatever." So they're trying to kind of skirt that, but they also issued a statement. They did issue an official statement saying says nothing. It's Disney speak, which is, we're going to make you feel good, but we're not going to give you any substance. So we're going to talk about Disney trying to get out of this sticky situation they're finding themselves in. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 260,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. We do talk a lot about Disney. We've been talking a lot about Disney this week. Oh my God, so much Disney.
Yeah, well, they own everything, so.
They own everything. And just to back this up a little bit, Disney gave money to a guy who was basically the originator.
They gave money, a couple people involved, I think. But I don't think it was because of this bill. I think they're already giving them money because they want to buy favors.
Right.
They give everybody money.
So per the Orlando Sentinel, the bill's Senate sponsor, Ocala Republican Dennis Baxley, has actively backed anti-gay legislation.
Yes, that is true.
That is true. This is the Don't Say Gay bill. You can go look that up for yourself. You can make your own decisions as to what it means or doesn't mean. It's a very complicated issue. This isn't about that. This is about Disney trying to pander to one audience while giving money to another group.
I'm sorry, but when you compare kids that live with same-sex parents to kids raised by alcoholics and abusers, but he says I'm not phobic, I'm like, dude.
Anyway,
we could debate that all day long.
we could debate that. This is just Disney again sticking its giant yellow foot in its mouth.
Right, because what's going on is it has, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the bills are that are being pushed. It doesn't matter what shitty things certain people want legislation pushed for. The problem is Disney wants to own both sides.
Yes.
It gives money to everyone because then when they need to call in a favor, no matter who is won and is in there, they owe them.
Yep, you owe Mickey.
They don't want to piss these people off on either side because when they need a favor, they still want them to owe them.
Disney loves Pride merch. If you go to Disney,
they do. They make
June,
a shit ton of money off it.
They make a shit ton of money off of Pride merch. It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. Lots of rainbows everywhere. And this is, again, to go back to what Alex Hirsch was saying. He's like, oh, it's so funny that Disney is all like, hey, guys, we love the LGBTQ plus community 1 month out of the year, but the rest of the year, we're going to censor this and censor that. And we're going to censor movies for China and censor movies for Russia. Now we don't like Russia and China. They're not really buying our stuff. So now we're coming.
It's all about, which way the wind's blowing that day.
So anyway, they're still giving money to this Baxley. They're still giving money to him as of the publication. This is IndieWire 4 hours ago. They have not said, hey, we're going to stop giving money to this guy.
Because he's in a position of power and they might need him.
They might need him for something. He might be a useful idiot. They're just going to hope that the general public forgets about it.
That's exactly what they're going to hope for.
But Twitter never forgets anything.
They never do, especially something like this.
Especially something like this. So this is Disney's response, which is a very Disney non-answer.
It is. It really is.
We understand how important this issue is to our LGBTQ plus employees and many others. For nearly a century, Disney has been a unifying force that brings people together.
Okay, so now Disney's going to make it about them.
Yep. We are determined that it remains a place where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. The biggest impact we can have in creating a more inclusive world is through the inspiring content we produce, the welcoming culture we create here, and the diverse community organizations we support, including those representing the LGBTQ plus community, and also the money we're giving to this guy. Mr.
Well, of course
Baxley.
they give it to everybody. They're giving it to these LGBTQ plus, the different diversity initiatives, because then they use it to go wave around when they want a back pat and a high five, and they want some free PR and media ass kissing, kiss out. You know what I mean? Of course they back all this stuff, but they back both sides because then they can use whatever they need to when they need to.
So Bob Chapek is doubling down on being politically neutral. Now,
apparently, yes.
Apparently. Now, here's the thing. I do believe, honestly, I mean, for all his faults, I do believe Chapek is more of a numbers guy than Bob Iger. Bob Iger had his eye on the White House. He definitely was catering to Democrats. He definitely was trying to get all the talking points in there to increase his chances of getting a position in Washington, right? That seemed to be what was going on. Chapek is just like, yeah, we just got to make money.
Yeah, basically. I'm here to make money. Let's do it.
And I think that as much as I dislike the budget cuts, as much as I dislike them,
the price hikes
and all this other stuff, the one good thing that might come out of this is that they go back to being more politically neutral on their content, that they're not going to shove all these politics into people's faces. When you've got the CEO coming out and saying that, hey, Disney's a neutral company, and then you look at the last couple of years and all these, Reimagining Tomorrow and all these other initiatives that were, I believe, Bob Iger, I think it was Iger's doing. And I have to wonder, like, some of these refurbishment announcements and the supposed auditing of the theme parks to be more diverse and inclusive, are they going to get axed? Or are they going to get forgotten about? Like, yeah, we mentioned that thing we were going to do, but yeah, there's no point.
Well, some of them are just plain stupid.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to recast voice parts to make it for characters that are coded a certain way. And I'm like, but then they won't sound like the voices people know. So what's the point of that? There has to be like a rational middle ground.
Yeah, so here's the thing. They said Chapek is private about his politics, but is believed to be much more conservative than Bob Iger, who was a registered Democrat before becoming an independent in 2016. Chapek is staunchly opposed to bringing Disney into issues he deems irrelevant to the company and its businesses.
Right, because this is being divisionary, divisive, and all it's doing is creating conflict, and it's turning people away on both sides.
Chapek appears to want to handle certain controversial topics through internal dialogue. Latondra Newton, Disney's chief diversity officer, sent a message to staff on Wednesday referencing deeply troubling and heartbreaking developments in the news, noting that Chapek had asked to meet with leaders in our company's LGBTQ plus community. Now, Disney CEO Bob Iger weighed in on this on Twitter, of course.
Shocker.
I'm with the president on this. If passed, this bill will put vulnerable young LGBTQ people in jeopardy. So if Iger were in charge, it would be different. But yeah, they said Chapek keeps his politics more private. That's what they were saying on the Hollywood Reporter. And I think that honestly, going forward, the best thing the company could do, or any studio could do, is not donate to any political candidates or any political anything. Just be like, we don't donate to either side because there's no way to win this.
Chief Corporate Affairs Officer Jeff Morrell, who was also the guy who accidentally leaked that they were opening Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind on Memorial Day and then pulled it down on Twitter.
Oh, well.
Stated, whatever Bob's personal politics are, he's not an activist and does not bring any partisan agenda to work, which is probably a good thing. He sees himself first and foremost as the custodian of a unifying brand that for nearly a century has been bringing people together. He is determined that Disney remain a place where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. I agree with that. Like, I think there needs, like, everybody, regardless of, ethnicity, sexual orientation, all that stuff. Everybody needs to be treated with dignity and respect and treated fairly and equally. I think that when you're taking these companies and you're making it political, you're alienating and isolating a lot of people. And I think at the end of the day, just don't be an asshole.
Yeah. I honestly think, in a case like this, when the entire world is watching what your company does, don't give to any political campaigns. Don't give to any candidates.
Well, they're not going to do that because they give to both
favors.
sides because they need favors. It's a need more than a want. If they want to keep, winning all these cases against having to pay what would be deemed fair on their property taxes and all that other stuff, and not count the branded and all that stuff, they have to keep buying these favors. So they're going to keep doing that. They're going to have to. I guess he donates some more like general funds that go to both.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see giving to like, Habitat for Humanity or, like neutral, non-political organizations. When somebody's going to probably chime in and be like, don't you know Habitat for Humanity supports or whatever? And it's like, I don't give a shit. I'm just off the top of my head. That's what I can see them doing something like that. But I think anytime you're giving to particular political candidates, you look like you're playing favorites with one side. And when you look at Disney's donation history, and at least on Bob Iger's watch,
it's clearly
it was mostly Democrats. And then you you absolutely chase that audience for how many years, with a lot of pandering, whatever. Now, whoopsie doopsie, it turns out that, you were playing both sides.
Which we told people months ago. Like last year, they were playing both sides.
Yeah.
And it's all about buying favors. At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's not even about politics and which way you lean. It's about buying both sides so everybody owes you. That's what it's about. I mean, whether you agree with this bill or not, their answer's a non-answer. They're trying to stay out of it. And they did pay these people, but they paid people on the other side too.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Pretty much.
But Twitter's going to make it personal. And, Disney's going to have to make some pretty tough decisions here. And I think what we're seeing is this, a transition phase from Iger to Chapek, where a lot of Iger's decisions, we're starting to see them now because it takes a while for those things to, unravel. But I think Chapek is probably going to want to rein it in going forward.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be allowed to.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he's going to be. That's the problem. He might want to rein it in and try to step over this and work with people to find solutions internally. But the problem is, because Iger already put such a big show about it out there and everything else, that there's certain things that's going to be expected from them by Twitter. And let's be honest, because the majority of people aren't even probably aware of this crap or care, but because there's been a precedent set by Iger, they're going to be held with their feet to the fire for sure. And the only thing I can tell them is to do is just pull, like you said, pull political funding from all of the above.
I would.
But they're not going to, because they need favors.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't be calling in so many favors.
But this is a bad look. I mean, it is, because if some of that part, I'm not going to talk about the bill too much, but some of the things in there, I was even like, what? That's what? So,
That's another video that we're not going to do.
No.
I'm sure other people are probably going to talk about that. You can go watch one of their videos. This is just talking about Disney getting itself in trouble, picking one political side over the other.
It's biting them in the ass.
And it's biting them in the ass. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.